Before we begin, let's pray for the Prophet and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, sweeties. The second season begins at the party with Jae, the time after she left Yuri for Kiefer. They really do love each other, and he's celebrating the new year with her. He's about to kiss her and they're together. Happy, she's emotional, but she's not sure what she's imagining. She goes to look at her school uniform and says many things since she first wore it and entered school. She remembers all the moments she shared with the team, their joy and sadness, how they were all centered around her, and how happy they were with her. She puts on the uniform and sees herself remembering simple things with Kiefer. And New Year's Eve when she was with him and left Yuri, who they were supposed to be in a relationship with to avoid going broke. She snaps out of it and tries to be stronger because she needs to be stronger and focus on her current situation. She gets ready in her school uniform and sees that she missed a lot of messages because I was going to meet the king of failures, who is Kif, and she was thinking about meeting him. She accepted Yuri's marriage proposal, so she shouldn't go near Kif at all. Her aunt comes in, very happy with the room because she changed it and made it better. That's why she tells her that Yuri came and asked their permission to go out with her. And he's currently downstairs, so she lets her go. She goes to think about his ring and says that she is currently engaged to Yuri, so she has to stop thinking about Kif completely. She tries to be strong and wants to forget what happened at the beginning of this year. She kills time and goes downstairs to go back to school. But she finds Yuri waiting for her. He goes to greet her and decides to spend time with her. He offers to carry her bag because it's his duty as her fiancé. But she is shocked by the word, because it is a very big word. Suddenly, Earth appears and refuses to let her go with Yuri. But he doesn't care, because he's not the one who's going to be a hacker from now on, since he's already engaged to her. And she goes to talk to him and tells him that she wants to be with Yuri and talk to him. And Yuri loves him because he no longer has a relationship with him. Now, since he's her fiancé, they walk together under the pressure of Iris, who may not like him at all. So he walks to school and she's still very confused, waiting for a moment to see how. He goes to check on her and she tells him that she has not spoken to Angelo at all, and this is because she is not ready for him at all, and from here he feels sorry. For him because he was not sincere in his feelings. For her, but now he is going to explain all his feelings. And this makes her think that since she is his fiancé, she must know what happened with Kev on New Year's Eve. And she comes to say that it is definitely related to Kefir. And he shocks her because he does not want to. He is listening to this now and does not want her to be sorry. Because he understands her and is ready. He's been waiting for her until today, their wedding day. He holds her hand and reassures her not to worry, telling her he hopes she'll give him a chance and not close her heart so she can love him, and they can both love each other. This affects her deeply and she doesn't know what she feels for him. Does she truly love him? Or is it because he treats her well? Or is it her duty to her family? She's not paying attention to anything else and is only thinking about how their classmates will find out. But he's not concerned about causing problems, especially if they find out about her and Kiefer having feelings for each other. She decides to take off her ring and put it in her necklace to hide their relationship. He goes and jokes with her, not wanting them to become sensitive about each other and wanting them to act like they're still friends, joking around as usual. As she's walking away, he immediately kisses her. He shocks her, but he's happy. She leaves, and he asks her to stop picking her up. But he does, from school instead. Of anyone noticing, she walks away, but he keeps focusing on her. So she goes back inside with all the other students. She goes in and acts normal. But as she walks, she's thinking about Kafir. He comes and startles her, takes her aside immediately, and makes her feel bad about what happened. He reminds her that she was still saying hurtful things on her first day, and that he's going to kiss her. He tries to do it, but she stops him right away because he knows what she's going through and wants him to stop flirting. He doesn't understand what's wrong with flirting because he loves her, and it affects her deeply. But she doesn't want this because she feels like she's cheating on him and wants him to stay away. He insists otherwise because they're not in a relationship. So there's no cheating. She tries to make him leave, but he stops her because they really aren't in a relationship, and he's only after her. She sees him as crazy, but that doesn't matter to him. She focuses on him more and he kisses her. She completely surrenders to him. She does this all the time, and of course, she lets herself go because she loves Keef, and this reminds her of New Year's Eve. But then she remembers Yuri's words that he'll wait for her even until their wedding day. That's why she goes and hits Keef, injuring him and then runs away. He's surprised she could do that. When she arrives at the classroom, everyone welcomes her and she's very happy. The first person she meets is Calix, and she checks on her equipment. She also checks on his girlfriend, Mika, and says things are going well between them. They joke around together, but then she goes to meet Drew, who she sees is still watching them. She's happy and sees everyone in the classroom checking on their friends. She ignores the lunch incident and goes to each class. Not knowing what's happening, She keeps asking about CN, but he's not answering anyone. She's thinking about nothing happened to him, but she welcomed the others. Suddenly, Kiefer appeared in class, and they noticed he had a cut on his lip. They made fun of him, and she was happy that this happened to him. She then focused on the whole class and saw that nothing had changed with him. They were happy and playing together. But then Yor came and sat down, and Kiefer came too. Each one sat in his place and focused on him, noticing that many things had indeed changed. Suddenly, the teacher came and welcomed them back to the class, and they were very happy. He told them that many things had changed, that there would be many activities ahead, and that there would be final exams that would determine whether the student would graduate or not. Yor reassured her and told her that she would graduate, and she was very happy. Kiefer saw this and was annoyed by their closeness. Then it was time for food, and he gave them a small portion. He takes many things that aren't available to everyone else, and he takes what he wants. He goes and sits next to Jay, who wants him to move away from her for a while. But when she tries to get up, he pulls her back and tells her that he's going to tell everyone what happened to her on New Year's Eve or what. But she refuses and goes to celebrate with him until Yuri arrives. She checks on him because Kiefer is bothering her as usual, and that's why he tells her that she has to remember that she belongs to him always. So she gets up and leaves, not wanting anyone to follow her. This bothers Yuri, and Kiefer is very happy. She goes up to the roof and is very happy because no one will bother her there anymore. She keeps checking the CN, who is still missing and whose whereabouts are unknown. Suddenly, Drex arrives looking upset. She goes and sits next to him to find out what's bothering him. He realizes that he's upset with himself because he's a coward. He believes that love in return is a bad thing because he can't show his love to the other person. And that's why I think it's good that he's better off being stuck between two people over nothing and having his girlfriend give her the one he loves and the one who is her. And she's shocked because her appearance is already very different from the first one, and she doesn't want to know anyone who's picking on her and loving the rest, and they're happy, and she's going to finish food, and she knows if she misses the food and is thinking about love then. Time passes, and she goes home and finds that there's a lot of guidance, but she finds out that they have a visitor. She finds that CNN is the one who came to her, and she goes and worries about him because he did not go to school, and her aunt leaves them alone because she misses him so much, and she goes to hit him because he is here and did not go to school, and she wants to know what happened to him. And she sees that he got into trouble, and that his brother imprisoned him and led Langertra because he causes problems all the time and is imprisoned for a long time, but she knows him and that she is worried about him and is checking on him. But he tells her that he ran away after taking everything. He needs her and will stay here with her because he told Angelo and he agreed. Angelo comes and confirms his words, then goes to look at Jay and leaves immediately because they can't stand each other. She tells him that his mother won't look for him and no one will care about him at all, and that he will sleep in her room like Angelo said. He runs to get her up right away, passing by as she's trying to sleep, but he's in the bathroom singing so loudly that he wakes her up. She goes to see Yorio and greets him, but Kaffer has sent her a message and is joking with her in the morning, and she's happy, then embarrassed, and goes to sleep. When Sin comes out and sings, she gets annoyed but goes downstairs right away while he's singing, seeing that he acts as if he's in his own home. She can't get up to go to school at all, so she goes down for breakfast. And Ars leaves as soon as she arrives. She goes to Sagan and wonders if Anas did something to him. It's obvious, he's basically sad, and he decides to get up and leave. She follows him, wanting to know what happened, because he's never been this sad before. She wants to know what Karsh told him, what he told her, about knowing she should leave the station, and that he needs to stay away from her. But she denies it and doesn't want anyone to leave her. Kiefer arrives upset, and everyone hears because rumors are spreading that she's leaving the station. She continues to deny it, and they all make a pointless drama. They don't want her to leave the station at all. C grabs her, and Yuri arrives and sees this, but she sends him away so he can catch Kiefer. Since he's going to Lars, it's then that she tells them that Arsir has her father's number and that she chose to stay at the station. Rasheen comes to stop Kiefer before he does something bad, so he fights him, knocks him down and upsets him, but Kiefer goes to fight him, and Kiefer is definitely stronger. He hits him, but one of Ars's friends. He decides to hit Kiefer, injuring him, and then goes to belittle him. He comes to hit him again, and Yuri immediately defends him and sides with Kever. They keep fighting, so Jajai stops them. They want Jajai to leave because she's the cause of all the problems. Of course, Feria can't stand them at all, and because Idrix loves her, he stays away. Kever just wants a fight, and gives her an ultimatum, them or Ares. Feria goes to apologize to them, and Ares too, she tells him. She won't leave the department, which makes Kever happy, and the whole team rejoices. He tells her she's lost the chance to be with her father and that she's the one who will suffer. That's why Kevin challenges him, because he always gets what he wants. He promises Jai he'll take her to her father, which upsets Yuri greatly. They continue to challenge each other. Jai goes up to the roof and brings Kevin food so he can eat and tend to his wound. He makes her go and tend to his wound herself, and she actually does that. But that's why he apologizes to her, and she's happy that he knows how to apologize like that. He realizes he should apologize to many people, but that's not his concern because she's the only one who matters to him. He deeply affects her, and they focus intently on each other. When she tries to leave, he pulls her close, and their focus intensifies. They both think about New Year's Eve together, but then Yuri arrives. He doesn't want to let her go and will fight for her. She's torn between them, literally torn between choosing one over the other. She wakes up from the recurring dream she has, and she doesn't know who she's dreaming about because it feels so real. She goes to see Yuri and he greets her. She thinks about Kivar, wondering why she shouldn't message him, and she thinks about the age where he's given up everything and left him for her. He tries to wake her up, but she doesn't. So he leaves. She runs off. But her friend follows her and tells her that someone is following her. She decides to call Kivar and does this. You find two people fighting with him, and he goes to fight them. She wants to run away, but she ends up fighting with him. Asha won't leave him alone, and they beat them up. But then another person comes and tells her that they want Jaya because of the infidel. She denies that they're in a relationship at all, but he wants her. When he's about to take her, he goes to defend her and gets hurt. She's very shocked. Then we go to the chapter ending, and they leave, but Yuri and Kiefer are sitting there, surprised that Jaja hasn't come. They feel that something is wrong and they're very scared. Yuri is worried about her and knows why he hasn't called her. He remembers when they met and decided to challenge each other. Kiefer wants Jaja to decide who she'll be with so they can actually challenge each other. Then two drivers arrive, not knowing where Jaja is, and they find out that she's in the hospital. So he rushes there and keeps calling her to find her because he's going crazy with worry. He asks everyone about her, and they all search until they finally find her. They go to her friend Rory, who's the one who got hurt and needs to rest for a week. They learn that she was there because she was affected by the blood on his wound, and that Ram's temper flared. She tried to take her to her friend, but David and his men hadn't even reached the hospital yet. The people there warn him to call and stop pretending to be a hero. He calls someone to check on Jaja, who tells him she was shocked by the blood on Rory. They see how he always gets her into trouble and are hoping everything will be fine when he gets back. He's thinking a lot, and they still don't know who he's talking to. Shayjay is thinking about why she faints when she sees blood and remembers all the situations. What happens to her when things like this happen to her? And she keeps thinking about how he goes to her. She's shocked and cries a lot, but he always hugs her while she's crying and tries to reassure her. She remembers that. He's always there for her and comforts her in her moments of weakness. He goes to check on her and she's afraid of Ram's gang that's chasing them. That's why he keeps reassuring her, because she's seen a lot of blood, even though she doesn't hurt anyone. All he does is reassure her. She says that she knows Yuri is engaged to her, but she can't help feeling different and sweet feelings towards Kaif. He goes to make her comfortable and repeatedly carries her around here and there. In the hospital, Yuri is with her, and suddenly he sees Kaif carrying JJ walking with her, and they're both focused on each other. He's very shocked, but he continues walking, normally until Yuri goes to him, focuses on her, and tells her that he will never abandon her, and will fight for her. She thinks about all of this. It's a dream, even if it's just a dream, but she wants to wake up, and from here the game and the struggle for JJJ will begin. It starts with Ankiver and Yuri, and they'll be fighting each other. So who will JJJ choose? GG, who doesn't know how to act after what happened to her and how she was hurt. But Rory defended her. There's also what happened between Keith and Yuri, but here, there's a fight in the classroom, and they teach her how to defend herself. Each of them tries to overcome the other, and shows off their strength in front of Gigi. Then CN comes along, who defeats Kilix, and says that what happened in front of her, she wouldn't be able to do it herself. But she asks him to lift the book and do a karate move, and he does. They applaud him greatly, and Gigi wasn't expecting him to know how to do it and wants him to teach her, but he leaves. Then Keith comes in and prepares her, and she tries to ignore him. But she says that I'll definitely know how to protect herself. That's why Yuri goes to teach her how to defend herself and protect herself, and not let anyone hurt her. He approaches her or takes what she wants, and goes to challenge Kafir and walks away, intending to stop talking to him in the first place. So Kafir comes in his turn and goes to teach her how to use this weapon, and the one is for the hair, and he teaches her that she focuses on every movement of the one in front of her, so that she knows how to analyze the movements, and they encourage her, and she goes to come with her, and he tries to teach her, but by avoiding her, and he goes to hug her and hold her, and everyone greets them. Of course, but he is on the same page. Finally, he goes to teach her that she must fear her opponent, and follow her heart in what he is doing. And she goes to hit him and keep him away. And they are very happy with her while Yuri is watching her, and she is happy. And they greet her a lot because of what she did. But she goes to think about what self-defense technique she will use, what method of them. So she goes with the bad, even though she is nervous like that, but he gets a message from Yuri and asks her where she is and what she is not. You can think about what is happening. She's just wandering around aimlessly, and Sai pulls her to focus on what she's going through. He sees that they're teaching her how to defend herself, and that it's for her own good, not just to avoid getting hurt. When she flirts with other girls, she threatens to tell his girlfriend, Rocky, and that's why he always shuts up, but then he remembers the scent of Ayla, with whom he had a past relationship, but she wronged him. Her classmates were hurting him, and she hadn't done anything wrong. They even accused him of stealing, and she didn't defend him. This makes her remember that she was the reason for everything that happened, and that Kiefer was the one who knew what happened. Kiefer still loved her at that time, and she's affected and her heart aches. She goes to class and thanks him. They're going to study this fighting technique, and she thinks that Yuri taught them, but he tells her that everyone knows how to fight, regardless of their skill level. She talks to Mayo and argues with him about what she said about the game Parkour is playing, and Kapoor calls it Rabir Kapoor. Dad. They argue until Kev comes and stops them because they're acting like children. They go back to arguing with him, each sticking to their own opinion. They know she's using bad language, bumping into things, and covering her mouth. Everyone is watching because, according to their agreement, he's going to kiss her. He goes up to her, and no one knows what's going on, but he keeps kissing her in front of everyone. Yuri is shocked and she pushes him away. Everyone is talking about her and focusing on each other, all under Yuri's watchful eye. He's extremely upset. He tries to kill time in class, where she asks them many questions. Some people answer, and each has a different opinion and answer. They keep defending each other. Jay gets up and supports both of them because they need to understand each other. She notices that Yuri isn't even looking at her or paying attention to her. So, the teacher makes them write an essay about it, and they get upset. She's busy distributing papers to the class who don't have anything, and she goes to talk to Yuri, who can't stand her. She talks about what happened, and he says nothing happened. But the teacher yells at her, scares her, and shuts her up immediately. This makes everyone make fun of her, and they go and write down what they're talking about. But she goes and throws Yuri aside so she can talk about what happened. They write to each other on this paper, and he can't stand her. But he writes to her to focus on the lesson, not on him, which makes her surprised. She writes back to him, letting him know he's probably upset about what happened with Kiefer. She keeps writing him lots of papers so he'll reply, and he gives her the papers right away. Kiefer notices that they're communicating through papers, and she gets upset with him. That's why the teacher kicks her out immediately. She makes everyone gloat, but she goes out and goes alone, upset about what happened. She takes the neighbor and plays with him, not understanding what's going on. Just one thing. Yuri comes to her and makes her laugh and laughs at her, and she feels sorry because she was satisfied with him, and I see that unfortunately, he will only change one thing, and he tells her that he came to feel sorry for her and joins her now and makes her surprised because he didn't want to talk to him for a while, and he said what has changed remains so. He focuses on her and lets her know that he really wants her. He is not upset with her, but he is jealous because he loves her and is unable to do anything. What's more than that, and he doesn't know how to control his feelings for her since she's engaged to him, and one knows, and he saw someone else next to her, and he gets very sad because he didn't want this to happen at all, and I'm shocked at the time, and it could be that she doesn't love him, but she just got engaged, and that she's his fiancé, and he's affected, and that's why she goes and holds his hand and gets close to him, and hugs him here all the time and makes him happy, Monday, and that's why he goes and kisses her on the cheek. They both stare intently at each other, and he's completely absorbed in it, happy and moved. He leaves her there, still in shock. She goes outside, and he yells at her for being there. She doesn't understand what's happening, but he tells her that she's his and his alone, and if he tries to get close to her again, he'll regret it. He throws her away and leaves immediately, acting really awful. Time passes and she goes home. She tells him she doesn't want to see him like that again because she doesn't know how to deal with him, and his behavior reminds her of her ex-fiancé. She's in her room with her friend, playing, and she sees him acting like he's at home, not caring about anyone. She goes to sit alone while he eats ice cream, and he thinks she's not herself at all. So she goes to talk to him, and he thinks they'll watch a movie together. But she stops him and asks if he's ever seen how upset he is before, and what does he look like. This confirms and tells her that he saw him before when he was upset with Yuri, and this was when I was there. He kept hitting Yuri badly, and no one could stop him because no one can stand up to Kafaru when he's angry. Anyone who gets near him gets hit. She says she feels sorry for Yuri, but he sees him as a coward. And that's why he's always clinging to Kafaru. because he's afraid to confront him. She says Yuri does things on his own without telling anyone, and that she should stay away from Yuri if he tries to get close to her. They go to watch this movie, and he chooses what he wants. Suddenly, his stomach hurts because of the ice cream, and she takes him to the bathroom right away. She leaves immediately and chooses the movie herself. But he has a folder with secrets, and she sees strange things. That's why she opens the secrets video and sees that they are filmed holding Kiko. They beat him severely because of Yoru and Kiefer, and because they're punishing him for getting close to JJ at the party and putting her in danger. They all go to beat him up, and she's shocked that they're torturing Kiko so badly and are enjoying it. She cries for him because they're torturing him like this, and she's stunned that they could do this to someone. They literally keep humiliating him, and Kiefer is happy about what he's doing. Sign is filming it. But then he gets out and sees that she saw the video and wants to know why they did this to Kiko. So the day passes, and she's going to confront them about what happened, even if it upsets them and reminds her of what Kiko did to her. But she thinks they went too far because he was already punished enough that night and kicked out, so they didn't need to go after him and do all this to him. That's why he tells her that they did it for her and to save her. He tries to stop her so she doesn't know how at all, because then he turns on them. And that's why she goes to hit him with the man, push him away and threaten him because she wants to know which hospital he's in. So she sells time, and she keeps repeating that she goes to him there, and she doesn't know how to feel when she sees him, whether she's angry or pity or what. And she goes to him and he's like this, broken and tired, and she comes to check on him after what happened to him, and that's why he makes her know that he deserves this. She did not sympathize with him and felt sorry for him at all times, even though he did not know what he was doing at the time, but his heart was broken because she rejected him. And despite the fact that this is an excuse and it does not explain why what happened, he asks her for forgiveness. And this is what she agrees to, and she does not want him to do this again. And he is affected and knows that she is here. Alone, no one is with her, and he relaxes, and suddenly he is talking about her, and they are definitely looking for her. And he sees this. I think she is lucky because everyone cares about her and can fight over her. And they were not like that. With Ailal completely, and that he'll stay in a month and then be discharged from the hospital. But full recovery will take 8 months, followed by physical therapy, and that he was expelled from school and separated from his class because he doesn't want someone like him around, making fun of himself and talking about the girl who was kind to him but suddenly changed towards him. And that when her friend died, she went to Kiev, Yuri and Aries, and if she wants to know her story, she should ask them. So she goes to class and he yells at her because he was worried about her. And Yura says that she went somewhere and is trying to avoid them, and that Kif and Yuri are worried about her, and she promises them that she will tell them later. And she sees that everyone is focused on her, so she goes and sits in her seat between the two of them and thinks about what happened to Freya with Kif, Yuri and Aries, and she thinks about going to each of them for a while, and she is currently focused on Adrex. And she sees all these people around her, and is really thinking, so it is mealtime and everyone is eating. And she talks to Kif and thinks, he is crazy. And then she goes to leave with Cien, who's going to expose her for meeting Kiko, but she knows he's with her now and isn't moving, and she goes and hits him because of what happened to him. When she insults him, he'll tell Kafer, so she takes him and leaves him immediately, not wanting him to tell anyone because everyone will know about her now. She sees Josh feeding this cat and playing with it, and they talk about cats. Josh recognizes them but is actually affected. He tells her to recognize these 2 colors, and she doesn't want Kafer to ever know about them because she doesn't know what he's like when he's upset. He's their friend and wants them to be okay and together. She sees him as good and thinks clearly. Suddenly, the cat bites his legs, and he's afraid he might get rabies. So he goes to get it vaccinated. Fury comes and sends her legs away because she's very close to him. So, you realize he's jealous again? And you see that Kaif is jealous too, and that they're both jealous of Cien. They talk about what's happening. It was happening with her too. And she takes it lightly and leaves. Then she goes up to Kate and checks on him with Mayo, who are still upset. She confirms their relationship, which isn't quite right yet, because he'll be forced to choose between himself and his family. She tries to encourage him, but he thinks it's easy to talk because she's not in his shoes, and he gets very sad. He thinks about taking her hand and kissing her, thinking it will make him a man. Mayo sees this, and they both joke about it, but Mayo gets upset with them and misunderstands. She goes and makes him explain to himself. He sees that with Kaif and Yuri, he went to Kate, and he gets upset with her. She says she didn't let him kiss her in the first place. And then Adrex comes. He sees this and threatens her with blasphemy if he finds out. Mayu goes and confronts him, clearly disliking her. He tells her she'll make everyone flirt with him because she's no different from Ella. This makes her hit him immediately, shocking everyone. She then leaves with Adrex. Mayu is getting treatment and is happy that she's learned to defend herself. Suddenly, he sees pictures of Feria with a new boyfriend and is very sad. He can't get close to her because she hates the department. To comfort her, she tells him she's actually crazy and that it's better if he stays away from her. Suddenly, Mayu comes and apologizes for what he said because she's different from Ella. They both apologize, and he sits with them. She reassures him and talks about Adrix, who's sad because of a girl. She goes to check on him because she hasn't noticed him at all. Falling in love is difficult, but they see that Kev and Yuri are pursuing her and actually love her. Mayu thinks Kev is greedy when it comes to a girl, while Yuri is good. If she were in her place, she'd choose Yuri. If she loved Yuri and chose him, that's why Kifter fought with him. She knows that Kifter has been grieving ever since his girlfriend's death. She gets distracted when she sees Yuri and Kifter, and he goes to get closer to her. She sees that those around her, or those who get close to her, are hurt. She focuses on Kifter and thinks about the things said about him, and also about the things said about Yuri. She focuses on both of them and doesn't know who to choose. So what do you think Gaga should choose? Write in the comments and don't forget your lovely likes. Judgy J sitting in class, lost in thought. Many things are going through her mind, and she glances at Yuri and Kiefer, unsure of her feelings or who she truly wants. She's quite absent-minded. The teacher interrupts her, asking about what he was, explaining, but she can't answer at all. She says there are still questions she doesn't know the answers to. Then, recess arrives, and Kiefer tells her they should go to a meeting place, but she leaves immediately. Yuri offers her a ride, but she leaves again. She decides to avoid both of them for a while, as they can't stand each other right now. We then move to Sagin, who is organizing his toys in Jay's room. When Jay arrives, he pesters her to buy him some toys, but she refuses. He keeps begging, seeing her as someone who knows how to be persuasive and wants her to buy them for him because he really wants them. He gets very upset and goes to get his things to leave her room. He's about to argue with her, but she agrees to buy him something to stop him nagging. She decides to take him with her instead of going alone, but he refuses and wants her to go and buy it herself. She thinks she'll go broke because of him. She gets money with him so she can buy it for him. As she's leaving, she finds messages from Kaffer asking where she's going tomorrow. Yuri has the same question and thinks they're bothering her a lot. She leaves to buy the CN she wants and goes to choose exactly what he wants. Suddenly, David appears and scares her because she was already scared of him. He tells her he'll treat her, and she immediately chooses it since he'll get it for her. Suddenly, Sakine sends her a message asking for his drink, which she usually buys herself, so David gets it for her. She tells him she came to get Del's, and that he's alone right now because he's very preoccupied. He tells her it's just random thoughts, and then suddenly he messages her, wanting to know where she is. But she doesn't care because they're just friends. David finds out and thinks they're together, which shocks her. She confronts him and shows him attention, and he focuses on her because of what she's doing. But he also notices the necklace and the ring on it.
She says he gave it to her, but she can't wear it yet.
She thinks he gave it to her because someone else delivered it, and she wants to know who that person is. She keeps asking for an answer, but he suggests she recognize any of the fictional characters and that Pierce gave it to her and sent it. She wants him to try to contact her somehow. She keeps returning it because she really wants to contact him. He takes a picture of her, so he'll reply quickly and sends it to her. He sends her this message, telling her she'll remove the necklace ring instead of him killing Yuri when he returns. This shocks her greatly, so she buys time and a long time passes. He's scared of her terrifying appearance, and she wonders why Percy told her. He keeps making fun of her appearance and goes to get the foam she threw away, which is currently calling her. She got rid of it because he can't get any answers. He's the one calling her, and he's hiding because she's not answering, which is why she's scared. He asks her to go to the store with Iman, which she agrees to, and he's very happy. He hangs up immediately. He won't be coming with her because he is going to Raki and her sisters, so she'll go alone. He goes into the bathroom before her to bother her as usual, then leaves to go to Raki's. She's waiting for Iman to come to her, but she finds some guys already waiting for her, and she thinks about them getting into a fight. They're with them again, but Iman comes and decides to take her with him. He thinks they're going to get into a fight, so they leave immediately. He goes to the store together so she can choose food for the class. While she's walking, she's being nosy and picks out things. He thinks that's good and that she won't see Kif again. She imagines things as she walks, gets scared, and then feels relieved because it was just her imagination, not Kif. Literally, the whole time she's walking, she sees Yoro and Kif everywhere. She decides to leave the whole place and starts walking. Suddenly, Kif appears and she bumps into him. She buys him the candy he likes, and he realizes he likes sweets. But it's a different kind of candy, especially her lips. He focuses on her, and she's very shy but ignores it and refuses to respond because she hasn't responded to him in the past few days. He thinks he's done something wrong and argues with Kif about who gets to hold the shopping cart. They end up holding it. They're together, and she lets him buy the products she wants. She keeps going until she's finished and then goes to pay. He tells her he discovered something about her father and leaves immediately. So she goes shopping with Iman and laughs, because she's currently driving with Rocky. They're happy together, and he decides to film him. They're both very pleased that he's doing this and see that he's enjoying himself, unlike them. They all joke around together, and she lets them leave first, saying she'll catch up later. Suddenly, Kev calls her and wants them to go together so he can tell her what he found out about her father. She goes with him to his house, and she sees that he uses different cars every day and wants a different one. She sees that he has many cars and is willing to give her his entire house if she leaves Yuri. He reminds her that she belongs to him and him alone, and he influences her. But she tells him that all of this isn't real right now, and that's why he decides to change it and make it real. She'll always be there, and she'll be deeply affected. She'll leave immediately and go to see her friends at home. They're enjoying themselves and upsetting her because of the fight that happened between her and Kafir. That's why she goes to Kilks, who's sitting quietly. He asks Adrex to get a picture of her father, who's in America and is an important businessman there. She gets many pictures and thinks that she's with Percy now, that they're together. Kilks is shocked that they're together, but that's the most information they've been able to find out. She doesn't know if they're together, and she doesn't know the truth at all. She's shocked, and everyone is upset. She thinks that she has many questions and needs answers, but he reassures her by saying that he promised that even if she has many questions, he'll be there for her and get her the answers. She thanks him for helping her find her father. She goes home and keeps thinking about what happened, feeling sad. Wallace notices Doa crying and she doesn't know what happened. So she tells him that she discovered something about her father, and instead of being happy, she becomes sad because their situation is very complicated. But he makes it easy for her and goes to joke with him to get her out of what she is in. He says that his mother said that she is buying him an apartment of his own and wants him to be independent, and he sees that this is the best because he was alone all along and wanted him to be. She helps him and is with him, but she is upset with him because he is rotten and goes anywhere, literally abusing him. She finds him and he walks along, so she sends David a message to Perce about him disappearing in front of her in a second, and she will not care about him at all. He is confused and sends the same words to Perce. He thinks about this friend of his and complains about him, so he has a mouth on him now, and I see that he cannot blame her. But David does not want to know what happened, because if he knew, he won't let him get close to her again. And for that, he thanks her for it. His concern for Jajijai stems from his concern for his girlfriend in America and their constant checkups. He's determined to keep Jajijai from falling in love with her and wants to return home quickly. He's sad, so his mother goes to get him food and refuses to let him go back to his country because he needs to focus on his health and protect him from anything bad after what happened there. Suddenly, his father arrives, and it turns out he's Jajijai's father, which is a surprise. Because of this, Piers considers Jajijai his brother. Sim gets ready to leave, and then Yuri calls her, wanting to go to church with her. He's already on his way to her and is trying to trap her. He calls her again, wanting to know what she's doing. But she goes to get dressed. He tells him she's going with Yuri and allows her to go, but not too late. She leaves immediately, and they see her as trying to get closer to him. She goes to church with him, still not quite ready for the experience. She gets married because there's no other option. Her family needs him. He's laughing at her because she thought he was going to Boza since he's Japanese now, and he's laughing at her. Suddenly, many girls come and are attracted to him, and she sees herself as less than him. She doesn't know why she's fighting with him like that, but it boosts her self-confidence because she's everything he wants and better than all of them. They agree on what to do, so they go to his house. She looks at these pictures, and he brings her favorite food, which she still remembers from a long time ago. She enjoys these old pictures of him and laughs at him, of course. He talks about old memories where Pierce was with them, and she gets touched, but it turns out to be the last picture they took together. He gets distracted and takes her to prepare the food, but she hits him because he called her a cow, and she remembers the past. He was just joking, and she says she misses being friends with him because she feels that things are complicated right now, but he goes to teach her things in Japanese words, and she is happy that she says it. Well, and he keeps teaching her a lot of things, until he doesn't say that he loves her in Japanese, and she gets very upset, and he goes to kiss her quickly, and she shares with him, but suddenly she gets hurt, and the first time she sees blood. There are many things in her, and the phobia comes back to her again. He doesn't understand this, and he wants her to call Kiefer, and she keeps crying a lot, and he feels sad for her, of course, so time passes, and he goes to guide her here and check on her, and she feels sorry for him because she didn't have to say what happened, but he accepts because he's still her friend. And she said that because he knows what happened to her a long time ago and that something wrong happens to her every time she sees blood, and she thought that this was a phobia, but it's just the matter. She started to hurt those around her, and no matter how hard she tried to think, she didn't remember this happened to her. And this happened to her in many situations, and she was unable to control herself, and Kiefer knew, and because she told him to call him and he refused. She was planning an engagement because he loved her and would remain like this, forever, and she did not think too much. And she would discover this on her own with time, and he wanted her to relax, and he kissed her here. And he would be a really good person and treat her while she was blaming herself because of the chaos inside her, so he would go to drive her home. He thanks her for the day they enjoyed together, but tomorrow he will tell him that she is going with CN, and he will say goodbye to her and walk away while she is relaxing here. But suddenly he comes to her and takes her well too, and they walk together, so he becomes upset with her and wants to know what she did with Yuri, and she says that she went to the church and cooked together, and she says all this, and he wants to know everything that happened after that. And he's very upset and uneasy. She wants to lie to him, but she keeps saying it's just a secret, and she doesn't know why she's doing this to him. She wonders why they're doing this to each other, but she says he knows her situation, so he shouldn't pressure her. He starts confronting her about whether she really loves Yuri or not, and that's why she confirms it, saying she loves him, and that's why she agreed to the engagement. Then he confronts her about their New Year's Eve kiss, which has surfaced now, and asks what he means to her. He pressures her until she yells at him, telling him she's not sure about what's happening, but the right thing to do is to be with Yuri for the sake of the engagement, and she can't bear to hurt anyone else because of it, even if he's on her mind. That's why he goes and cries, telling her that he was the one who worried about her and everything. Unlike Yuri, he doesn't understand what's going on and how she sees him as weak because he was raised without a mother, and his father abandoned him. His sisters are alone, and she doesn't want to leave him at all because he truly loves her. That is why she hugs him and they both cry. He says that they won't let anything happen, even if they have to choose Yuri, but he doesn't want anyone else. He confesses his love to her, and she says that what he said wasn't a question, but she knew the answer. She says that she loves him too and hugs him constantly. They both cry together and she comforts him. They focus on each other. She has already chosen Kev, so what will Yuri's situation be? That's CN snoring while he's dreaming and arguing with someone. It's a really strange kid. But on the other hand, Gaga is sitting happily, remembering when she was with Keith, and he confessed his love to her, and she confessed hers too. She's very happy, but she's afraid of CN's outburst while he's asleep. She then thinks that Keith is the one who suddenly calls her, and she's very happy. But she answers. He checks on her, and she tells him that they yelled at her for coming home late. That's why he suggests they tell everyone she's pregnant with his child and get married. But she thinks he's crazy and wants them to go to sleep. He, however, is thinking about her, dreaming about them, together in different places, confessing their love to each other, especially him confessing his love to her until the end and beyond. She then tells him that she loves him. Sukin wakes up and hears her, and he knows that Keith has a boyfriend. He says her piece, but then he goes and argues with her to see who she's talking to. Suddenly, Arsu arrives and silences them because they want to sleep. She goes and argues with Cien because she's keeping him up at night, and she makes him go to sleep right away. She's happy with what Kiefer said and is very pleased. The day passes and they go to the classroom together. She argues with Cien, who is the one who kept her up and made her want to sleep in the first place. He thinks she was in love at night, and she goes and argues with him right away. Suddenly, Yuri comes and brings them food, and they are immediately happy with it, because they are literally like beggars. But Jaji tries to ignore him and doesn't know how to tell him what happened because she feels it's difficult for her to tell him the truth. She is waiting for Kiefer to come. He notices this and tells her that he won't come because his father went to his house and is currently having problems with him, but she denies that she isn't. She's actually interested in him, but she denies it in front of him, saying inside that it's obvious. She's looking for him. They see her as very quiet, and she definitely misses Kiefer. Then Sam comes and tells her what happened last night. She was talking to someone and she likes him. He leaves when the cat comes and runs after her, but then he goes to take her food, and she catches him right away. So the day passes, and Sam is asleep, dreaming about the cat, Eddie. Meanwhile, she's thinking about Kiefer not coming to school these days and checking on him. But Sin is meowing like a cat, and she's afraid of him because he's so strange. She's thinking about Kiefer, and suddenly he calls her and tells her he misses her and wants to know what's going on with him. He goes to check on her and what's happening in class, but she tells him she misses him too. He doesn't tell her anything about himself, not even texting or telling her anything. She wants to. She knows something about the problem he's in, and that's why he tells her it's a family issue. They're facing the possibility that even these problems might distance him from her, preventing him from even sending a message. She keeps checking on him and he appreciates her concern. He finds her very kind and loves that about her. He longs to see her, And that's why she offers to send him a picture. But he's being silly, of course, and shocks her by joking around. She still wants to know what happened. And that reminds him of 3 days ago, when his father arrived and wrecked the place. The servants are trying to help him. But Kiefer comes and checks on his 2 siblings, especially younger Kieran. He goes to comfort them and hugs them, assuring them that everything will calm down. They're afraid for themselves because they don't want to go back with their father now that he's returned to the country. He's nearing the legal age and will fight for custody. He's waiting for his birthday to come around and he reassures them that they'll be together and leave right away. Kaffer is unsure how to handle things because he wants to protect his siblings, who are his family. He calls Ryder, the lawyer, wanting to talk about his father. What he feared has come true. His father is back. He was afraid this would happen after his mother's death.
He plans to prepare the paperwork to keep his siblings.
Jajai finds out about this and is shocked. The day passes, and Wasim goes to fight with Jajai as usual. But then the men arrive, and they go with Ella. They find out where Jajai is. The Keef family is there. Sakin is scared because Keef would never do this. He thinks this is his father. But she decides to go right away. They all leave together, and the whole class gathers at Keef's house, unaware of what's happening. Jafe is engrossed in the place and waiting for Keef. But then, Keef's father arrives. He has always been a very rude person and goes to welcome them. And they see that everyone is there, and surprised. And that is why I draw him here. And that is why they know that he is still not as patient as the first time, and they are here to eat with his son's friends. And he welcomes them all the time. And suddenly this car comes, which is from Kaffer and Yuri, and I see that they have gathered together, and you hope that they will be fine. And they are coming. And they are worried about what happened. And they do not know why his father. He brought them here, but he enters. They go after him and he takes them inside. And it is impossible for the confusion that is happening. And they all go inside, but Jagai is surprised by the place. And she walks and looks upstairs, exploring what is already there. And she walks with Kiefer. And I do not know what the 2 of them are doing, but they take Yuri and his sisters. And they want to cooperate together because their father did not bring them to us without a plan. And it is certain that he's thinking about something else. And they still don't know what it is, but he definitely wants their brother. Kyron, this is because he kidnapped Kieran before to take custody from Kaffer. Luckily, they managed to contact him and tell him what happened. They know his father wants something and will fight for it. Tarja Jaiga thinks that if anything happens, Kieran, his brother, should be freed. Kainjin will help them with this. He scares her because she's afraid something might happen to her. But he's just checking on her friends and wants her to agree to anything so Kieran can leave. She agrees, and he leaves with his brother. He goes to see them off and hugs Hana because he missed her so much, especially since he's been busy lately. He promises to make it up to her and is waiting for her to be with him. He hugs her to relax a little because he truly loves her and thanks her for being there for him in this difficult situation. Then she leaves. He stops her and quickly kisses her, then they leave. They're both happy with all the food, and the whole class is happy too. But then they go to eat. His father and his men arrive and sit with them, surrounded by everyone. He talks to Kev and checks on him because he has obligations towards him and his siblings. Kev curses him silently because he's in his house. He tells them about their gathering and confronts Ella about how she was a troublemaker a long time ago. He looks at Jajai and wants to know her name and why she's saying it. He says he recognizes the name because he wants to know who her family is, but McKev stops him and ignores him. She tells him that her father's name is Jesse Mariano and her mother's is Gina Fernandez, and that's why he thinks the world is small, because their families are shareholders in his telecommunications company. She also tells him that her mother's sister's name is Gemma, and he knows about her and that they are cousins. He thinks her mother isn't a good person at all. For a while, Kaffer was upset and kept breaking his hand. He kept asking what they wanted from him to do all this. So he went and made him sign something to take Kier from him, or else he'd give them his head. When he told him it was his mother's money, he denied it because his mother didn't have any money since she stole the company from him. This made Kaffer angry, and he stood in front of him constantly. His father got upset with him and left, and they forcibly grabbed Kaffer. This made him go and fight with them, and the students went to grab them, but Jajaya kept driving Kern away, so they went and stopped them with weapons and took them all out under threat. His father saw this, but they went to him already threatened. He wanted to know that his son, Kern, was there and didn't know why they had gone this far. He wanted to get to his son and took him to Jajaya, who knew where he was, but she denied it and insulted him. And this made his father goes and knows this type of person well, because she's after his son's money, and he's stupid and yells at them to make everyone kneel, and he does that for them. Whenever he raises his voice, he immediately hits her, and she can't stand it at all and wants him to have mercy, but he refuses. Every time she sees Kaffer being beaten, they all go and fight together, stopping them with weapons, Thinking they're brave, he goes and hits Kafir and wants him to sign a document. But he doesn't want to anyway. But he takes it from him. The girl tries to stop him, and they try to prevent him from doing this in the first place. She goes and tries to convince him to hit him normally and provokes him. We wars don't want this, but she isn't afraid at all. She tells him that he would never kill a student and that people would ruin his name and he wouldn't have any companies. She tries to influence him and he is pleased with her and makes them put down their weapons because he has taken advantage of them, and thus their lesson is postponed. For a couple of seconds, they will let them walk and they can't stand it at all. And she's here, unable to control herself because she was thinking that she was going to die. And you see that she is brave. But Kafir starts yelling at her because she identifies Dylan, a person who is not afraid of anything, because he is someone who is a professional in killing in the first place. And Karen comes and checks on him, and they think that they are going and warns her that she is not doing this yet. So she thinks before making any random decision, and they walk along. And Yurei is worried about her and Gaje, because how they are worried about her. So he sells time and goes to eat with CNN. And Kefir sends her messages, and she does not respond to her because of the one he is dealing with her, and she cannot stand it. But Sane thinks that she has a second lover and jokes with her, and he sees that the quarrel that happened between her and Kafir is the quarrel of lovers, but she keeps denying it all the time. She goes on to say what happened, because she was sacrificing her life, and in return he slandered her. He sends a message to Les, telling her to come down to him instead of talking to Angelo. He makes her go straight down to him. So he takes her candy, he goes with her, and she's upset with him. But he knows she's upset because of what happened. He wants her to apologize. And everyone sees it from their own perspective because she wants to save him. And he was worried about her. She goes and curses, and he sees it as a curse that went along with their agreement. But she refuses. That's why he gives in to her and thanks her because she was right and saved his siblings. Despite that, she tells him that what happened between him and his father must have been difficult for him. And this makes him remember when he was little and his father always put him in challenges and couldn't bear him losing at all. He used to fight with Yuri all the time and came thinking that his father was the one who did it. This is what Angelo first met, and he was crazy like his father, but he taught him how to use his power to protect people, those who love them, while in contrast, his father was practicing violence against his mother since they were young and saw she was constantly taking money from him, and he was abusing her, not even caring about the children and the difficult life they had lived since they were children. Angelo went and decided to help him so he could become strong and protect his mother from him. When they were keeping him away from his father, his mother became pregnant with Kern, which brought him back to them. But when they returned, his father was constantly fighting with his mother, and he decided to defend her. But she was holding a grudge against him. This made him go and beat him constantly, trying to finish him off completely, not caring about him at all. He tried to prevent him from inheriting his share, and whenever he was about to kill him, she would hit him and make him run away, finishing him off completely. But unfortunately, his father was a savage person, and he decided to beat her even more until she fainted. He didn't know what to do for her, and in the end, he killed her. He couldn't do anything after beating her and trying to revive her. But she was already dead. He lived a truly tragic life, and failed to protect his children. His mother died, but now he won't let Ben take his siblings from him. That's why he's fighting alongside him. He kidnapped Kieran before, and it was for his own good. He's trying to shift the blame onto him, but he won't be weak like before. He'll protect his siblings, and this makes her cry because her father is awful and has endured so much. She sees him as brave for having survived it all. She thought her life was difficult, but it turned out to be much harder. She thinks that after her father remarried, he's back again to take everything from them. They are affected and decide to leave, but he doesn't want her to sacrifice herself again because he wants to protect the people he loves. He makes her happy and focuses on her. Even when he's sad, they leave, and he takes her home taking care of her. She goes to him immediately, and he follows him. But when she enters, Arth comes and scolds her for being late. She senses that he's attracted to Kiefer, and he doesn't know why. How will she be with Yuri and Kiefer? She needs to put a stop to this before Angelo finds out. But she tells him that it's obvious she loves Kiefer, even though he thinks he's laughing at her and using her to get revenge on him. He says that he used to say the same things to her and yells at her because he's using her, not acting, and making her cry a lot. She gets tired and very sad because of this. So, is Kiefer playing games to get revenge on ours, or does he really love her? Tell me your opinion in the comments, sweeties. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, the Turkish channel. You'll find the link in the first comment. And don't forget to follow us so you can get the next part. Peace.